Welcome back to another episode of In Good Company. We are your hosts, Jeremiah. You gotta say my name. You gotta introduce me.
And my esteemed colleague, Judah McFadden.
Thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, if you want to watch the full version of the episode, the only place to do that is on our Patreon. So click the link down below, and that's where you'll get the full episode to watch, as well as our 5-star reviews and our menu. Welcome back to another episode. Okay, what I want to talk about today is our good buddy and I were talking about it the other day, and then you, coffee guy, every morning. Do you tip what's your tipping policy? Coffee at a bar, at a restaurant, we have to order at the the iPad. What's your take?
Hot take. No, I mean, tipping's got out of control.
I agree.
I think.
But like, you're getting the coffee. You hitting that dollar? You hitting the skip? Hitting the
Custom.
What's the custom?
Because some coffee shops, they'll have
20, 25, 30
percentage baked in. 10%, 20%, 30 on. And then some have $1, $2, $3.
$3 on a coffee is nuts.
But I'm paying $5 or $6 for a cup of coffee. Why am I paying more? Tipping for what? I'm just ordering a coffee. So I do tip out of respect of the people making them, but like it's getting out of hand. It's like HOA fees, man. Like I get a built-in like monthly allowance for tipping now. Like it's getting crazy. Like, bro, like I went and got a coffee this morning and the screen pops up and I appreciate when they like walk away just like so they're not like
oh yeah, when they're
me.
hovering over you.
Yeah, and you like
the pressure you feel to tip if they're standing there and they're looking at you.
You feel like you got to hit 22%, 25%, or 30%, which is like fantastic, like service or some shit, right? So she walked away. I put custom. I typed in 25 cents. You know what I mean?
25 cents?
25 cents. Like
you tipped 25 cents today?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
$1. If you're gonna tip, I think minimum tip $1. 25 cents, bro. 25. You're the same. This
Think about 25 cents adds up though. Like imagine if everyone's tipping 25 cents, right? Back to back.
I don't know.
It adds up.
Remember, you're the guy that said, "When was the last time you used a quarter?" It's like, Judah, when was the last time you used a quarter?
Right. That's different. Bottom line is like tipping's just gone.
Here's the thing: if it's coffee or at a bar or something like that, I will. My thing is, if I'm going to a restaurant to pick up food, you get a to-go order, or you get.
I'm not tipping.
Or if you're ordering at a counter and you're typing in like iPad thing, and then they just they call your name or your number and they give you your food. Are you tipping on that? If you're dining in but you do not have a waiter, you're ordering at the counter at an iPad. Tipping. Are you tipping there?
Light. I'm not tipping your typical 18, 20%. You know what I mean? I'm not tipping typical 18, 20%. If there's no service.
Yeah.
Coffee, where's the service, bro? I'm ordering a coffee.
Yeah, but they're making it. There's a barista.
I agree with that. No, I agree. That's why I do.
Compared to like if you're getting a Tocaya burrito. Come on. You're giving me a number and I'm sitting down.
So there is a difference then than your local coffee shop and a Starbucks. Are you tipping at Starbucks?
No. But then I feel bad.
I mean.
Here's the thing. I always tip. But hot take, our friend was like, I do not tip. And he sent me a chart of the world. America, here, I'm just going to read it.
America tips like
nutty. I'm going to read you the facts.
Isn't it connected to businesses not paying their employees enough, right? And they kind of put it on us.
That is a big thing.
From what I know. I could be completely wrong.
I don't know where it is. It was basically a chart of what countries tip, and America tips like the most by far. And then like France, Italy, European countries, they don't tip.
No.
And his thing is, you're not like bartending. You're taking a minute to make a drink, or a barista's like taking a while to make your.
I'm tipping a barista. I'm tipping someone who's like, I'm a coffee guy, so yeah, naturally, I'm going to like appreciate a good cup of coffee. I'm going to appreciate a local coffee shop opening up, but does that apply to Jersey Mike's, Subway?
Yeah, see, that's like, tricky. I will, just because I feel bad for people working there. But to be honest, corporate America, you guys fucking pay your employees better. There's one time I was at my sister's house, and they have like crazy wasp problems. And so they're like, we need an exterminator. You need to come get rid of all of this. And the guy was there for so long, spraying so much. And he smelled like weed. So I called my sister. I was like, yo, can I give the guy $100 and then a bag of weed? And I gave him the $100 and a massive bag of weed. He goes, thank you so much, bro. Like, thank you for this. Got into his car, sparked up, got super high. He was like, anytime you need me, man. And I was like, he was more happy for the weed than the $100.
Yeah. Well,
He was stoked.
you got to know your customer.
But I had this guy like everywhere, going under the pool, under the deck. There was more wasps than I've ever seen in my entire life. He was in the suit, sweating in the Colorado heat.
Yo.
He earned it. He earned that bag of weed and the $100.
Wasps, by the way.
Hate them. Hate them.
I remember we had a wasp nest at our house in Florida. It was like on the pathway to get into the house. And I was sitting there and I looked at I was with my little brother Spencer. I was like, Spencer, like, me and you got to go tag team this. Like, it's us together, pal. Like, so we get this spray, like the
That
wasp
just irritates them.
we get like the kill them, like the killer wasp spray, right? And we run up to it, we hit it crazy. These things fly out, bro. And I like get ahead of Spence. And all of a sudden I look back and Spencer, like, he like shrieks like, ah! Bro, I'll never forget this shit. Bro, this wasp got him so crazy in the back. He had the craziest wail, and he was mad at me for like the whole day. He goes, you left me in the trenches.
I'm in the trenches taking grenades, John.
Yeah.
You selfish son of a
You selfish son of a... Exactly. Like, I was like, my bad, Spencer. I did set you up a little bit for that.
Dude, wasps hurt. I hate wasps. Hate them. But on the other end, what are things we love? What are we
5 stars?
What are we 5-starring? Enough negative talk. We're not with the no more wasps.
My 5-star is Orbe. It's a conditioner. It's a shampoo.
Is Orbe just a male company, or does it do?
No, male and female. It's just like unisex, but it's just a great product. Smells amazing. The Orbe shampoo for moisture and control.
That's the green bottle.
The green bottle, and then the conditioner as well for moisture and control. Because I've been growing my hair out, my curls.
Sometimes it'll really dry your hair out and make it frizzy. So does it do that? Or
No, my hair stays pretty moisturized. I mean, I think like in LA, because the weather's dry out here, I had to do like a midday spritz or something. Yeah, to bring the curls back alive.
It's tough to have curly hair,
dude. Especially
and finding a good shampoo and conditioner is money.
Especially in dry weather.
So it's called what?
Orbe.
5-star Orbe.
It's a must.
I'm gonna try it.
It's a must.
You got a new customer. I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah, I mean, your hair's been long too. It's great for long hair. Like my hair is getting really long. I could pull it down to my chin almost.
A lot of stuff that like shampoo and conditioners I use, they mess my hair up.
Really?
Like super frizzy. You know what it is? The nicer shampoo you buy actually does have vitamins and minerals in it that help your hair. Some of those cheap, like in cheap shampoo, you're just gonna dry your hair out.
Everybody has their price point.
Yeah.
But if you're shopping at Target, you know, like chances are like most of those aren't great for your hair. So maybe just being more conscious of like what actually goes into it.
I bought this shampoo and then my sister sent me a video of a recall. It was making people's hair fall out. And she's like, you need to return that.
Oh yeah, it's called I think I know about this.
So guess what I started doing? New body wash.
Was it Olaplex or no?
I don't know. But she was like, no, people's hair's falling out from it. I was like, great. So I started washing my whole body with it. It's going to make hair fall off. You know what I mean? Body wash.
What was the, remember that lotion you could put on your skin, like your hair would come off?
Nair.
Yeah. So you just had like a body wash Nair.
Yeah. I've been using it. I'm not going to use it on my head.
No, definitely not.
Use it everywhere else, right?
I don't even want to ask what that's for. Oh, shit. I mean, listen, if you ball on a budget, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, but what's your 5-star of the week?
My 5-star this week is Sage Peppermint Halo. It's a little bottle that you rub on your temples, and it's for headaches and for focusing and for like head. I don't know how to describe this. It's for like headaches. So you put it on your temples, you rub this little tube on your temples, and it's like a cooling, relaxing sensation that like is just absolutely incredible.
The brand is Sage?
Sage. S-A-J-E, and it's called the Peppermint Halo. And it's a little thing like this, and you rub it on your temples, and it has like this cooling sensation. It's absolutely incredible.
When do you apply that? Like you just do it midday?
If you have a headache or you're stressed,
okay.
and you put it on, it's just awesome.
I could see that like being good if you had 9 to 5 and You fucking hate your boss.
Yeah.
I hate what you do.
Well, Sage also has one for focus. There's this one that you dip it, like there's a little thing, you tap it on your hand, you do this, and you breathe it in, and it's crazy how focused you can get with it. I don't know what's in it. It's like herbs and minerals and stuff in it, and in like oil form, but Sage is great.
You just like whiff it in? Like what?
Yeah, you breathe it in. Yeah. Sage. It'll be in a link in our Patreon that you can only get if you subscribe to our Patreon.
Yes, sir.
What do we got for movie of the week?
My movie of the week, I don't know who recommended it to me. I saw it on Letterboxd. Letterboxd was interviewing some people on the red carpet during the Oscars. If anybody doesn't have Letterboxd, definitely get Letterboxd.
Yeah.
It's like your own personal Rotten Tomato. But they were interviewing one of the actors on Letterboxd and about what their top 4 movies are. And he said Cinema Paradiso. He was like, it's such a lovely movie. You know, it's an Italian love story, kind of about nostalgia and kind of about not being able to get over like the love of your life.
I bawled my eyes out when I saw it.
Oh my goodness. I think it might have like creeped its way into my top 10 ever off of one watch. Like I watched it, I cried twice, and it was so...
The little kid is so great.
You really feel for the characters, you know, and the love story. I think they just do a really good job developing the love story between the guy and the girl. And oh man, if you haven't seen Cinema Paradiso, go see it. Or order it on.
You forget
Apple.
it's in subtitles.
I forgot.
2 minutes and then like you totally forget. And for people that are like, oh, I don't watch foreign films, you really, once you forget that they're in subtitles, you can just watch the movie. Like you're reading, but you're also watching the movie. And it opens you up to a whole world of like, dude, Japanese film, like French noir films, Italian films. Like
that's all I've been watching.
Just forget that there's subtitles. The movies are so good.
The problem with it is like HBO Max has actually a lot of the Japanese films, like the
Kurosawa and stuff.
What's his name? Warkon Wai? Is that his name?
But even like Bong Joon-ho, like Parasite.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Incredible foreign film, you know?
It's true.
You just have to forget, like, I know a few people that are like, oh, I don't watch movies with subtitles. I'm like,
you kind of need Criterion Channel to get the foreign films.
Yeah.
The foreign films, they're sporadic. They're not everywhere. They're hard to find on Apple TV. Like, even if you have HBO Max and you have Hulu, like, you kind of need Criterion Channel to get to where you want to go.
But it's sick that you will watch foreign films because some people, they don't do subtitles. And I'm like, I love them. You're cutting off so many incredible films by saying I don't like reading subtitles.
3 of my favorite movies I've seen this year were foreign. Taste of Things, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which came out a couple years ago, and then Cinema Paradiso, which was 1988 or 1987 or something like that. Yeah. My favorites.
Everyone, please go watch that. It's so good.
What is your song of the week?
Song of the week is our boy, Connor Burns. He has a song called Might Go Back to Atherton, and it's just catchy, and it's kind of like gritty. It's kind of like Kurt Cobain-y, but like newerish pop, kind of like Kurt Cobain vibes. But yeah, Might Go Back to Atherton by Connor Burns. It'll be in our playlist this week that you can hear if you subscribe to our Patreon.
Connor's mad talented.
He's great.
When we saw him live at...
he just played the Kia Forum.
Winston House in Santa Monica, Venice. We saw like an intimate show from him.
Yeah, he just went on a crazy tour through Europe, and then he did an American tour. His stage presence is
great,
absolutely incredible.
Great. Hey, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I hope one of his songs like takes off because he's a lot of fun to see in person, and you can't say that nowadays, man. You go to concerts, like half of them are just like lazy.
You know, it's like the it thing. He's got it. You see him. He's a performer. Like you see him up there, and you're like, yeah. I might go back to Atherton. I freaking love this song.
I appreciate a good performance.
It's going to be in the playlist. It's great. You guys are going to love it.
You know, we've been talking a lot about mental health, you know, as of late on the last few pods with, you know, AZA, Raquel's.
Yeah.
And I want to talk more about that, considering men and mental health. I feel like it's a friction.
Well, it's not. We don't really talk about it a whole lot,
right?
It's a hard thing. Even me, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, we can go there, I guess. Like 2 weeks ago, I was just super. I don't know what it was. On like a Thursday, I woke up and I was just like super depressed, and I didn't leave my bed Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. And I think one of the hardest parts of going through like a mini little depression or being sad for a few days is like I isolate. And our pastor said this too. Like when guys go through stuff, they isolate themselves. And for me, I do that. I didn't like for those 3 days. You're like, Judah, where you at? And I was like, I don't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
And I do that because one, it's for like the masculine part of it seems weak to go through something. And I also don't want to like screw up my friends' vibes. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring whatever I got going on into your life.
That's fair.
So I isolate, and it, yeah. I mean, it sucks, but it's.
I feel like men. I don't want to generalize all guys, but it's something we don't want to accept. We don't want to acknowledge it. We let it roll off our shoulders, or we like don't take time to like acknowledge it, and instead we just punt it.
Yeah.
For a different day, until you've punted enough of them, you're going to reap what you sow, and it's going to eventually come back around in a way. And then you have to deal with it in a much larger way that might even be even more troublesome for you to handle if you're not equipped, with the right tools internally, right?
Yeah. The more you push it away, it'll bubble up. Or, I mean, some people never deal with it. I know for me, I get in these just, days or like mini little seasons where I'm just like, I feel this way. I feel sad. I don't want to get out of bed. I'm just going to like chill at home by myself and not talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Talking about it in therapy helps, but yeah, I don't know what it is. You don't want to.
How do you find your way out of it?
What's funny is I do the isolation thing, right?
Yeah.
Not talk to anyone, stay home. And I think one of the best ways to get out is like fellowship and having your friends and being around your friends. Even though I have an insecurity of like, well, I don't want to go hang out with my friends right now because I don't want how I'm feeling to like affect their great life.
Do you know what it's tied to? This feeling of sadness or depression, or
I would say some of it is stress related. I don't know, but it's weird because I'll just wake up and I'm like, it's like the woke up on the wrong side of the bed thing.
I mean, on Raquel's episode, we talked about fear and how the fear of something happening can lead to your anxieties. Is there something now currently in your life that you feel like is,
Yeah, I would say, it's Raquel did a really good job of saying like fear is false evidence appearing real.
Real.
Yeah, false evidence appearing real. Even knowing that, it's hard to like shake it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, is there stress with, the future of everything in my life? You know what I mean? Career-wise, relationship-wise. Yeah, those things are difficult. And at times they're like paralyzing and I just don't want to do anything. I'm super hard on myself. And even when I'll get up out of bed and I'll go for my 6-mile run, I get home and I'm like, pfft.
How much more amplified is it with social media and the access we have now where you could be feeling some type of way, right? You can be feeling down and, have angst or anxiety about these different things in your life. And then you go on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, wherever, your social community is. And then you see everybody's perfect reality that they're painting, mostly, especially on Instagram. I think Instagram's literally like made for that exact thing. Do you feel like you're like unconsciously just scrolling and seeing?
No, that's one thing I'm good at is I don't do that. My stress comes from just knowing the person that I want to be, the things, the goals I have, and not being there yet. So like I'm pretty good at like the comparison thing. I don't really do that, but I hold myself to a really high standard.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
No, honestly, on social media, I don't use it like that's not true. I do use it.
Well, I use it too, but my anxiety doesn't come from seeing other people's lives.
No,
mine is from like I have this standard for myself, and if I'm not doing it, then I get sad or depressed.
Yeah, mine's not. I think social media has no impact, at least consciously that I know of, on how I feel about myself. I think it's how you talk to yourself is usually your biggest mountain, right? And I think, especially as men, we put these pressures on ourselves. We have these goals we want to attain, however lofty they might be, We have these societal constructs placed on us.
I was going to say, there's some stuff that's not even just we're putting on ourselves.
For sure.
We're societally put on
societally
us.
put onto us, which, fair or not fair, it's just kind of the reality, I think. And it's trying to navigate all that, in 2024. It can be overwhelming at times, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like even like some of the anxiety I have is like, I want to be, a lot of people in my life are like getting married and, having kids and stuff. And it's like not a pressure, but I get sad about that because I do want all of those things. So if I get in those sad moments, I just have to remind myself that I'm on my own path. I'm on my own journey.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a husband someday. I'm going to be a father someday, and I'll be really good at it. And like the season I'm in right now is preparing me for that. But yeah, there's times I'm like, damn, I want to be in love. I want to be a dad. I want to, you know what I mean?
I feel that too sometimes.
Which is comparison, I guess. Like in a way, but I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. I just know I want those things. There's things that I really, really want, and I have to be patient right now and know that all like the little things that I'm doing, the little work that I'm doing is for the greater good, and it will pay off eventually, and I will have all those things that I really desire. But yeah, it just leads to stress and anxiety at times.
I feel that way sometimes, but then sometimes I'm like, I'm glad I'm able to give my niece and nephew back to my sister. Like, like sometimes I'm like, damn, like I want to be married. I want to have a girl. Like I want to have kids. And sometimes I'm like, I kind of really like my freedom too. Like, you know what I mean? But I think
that is true.
Yeah. I think also like, I think it's specifically in big cities. It's not just to LA, like LA, Miami, Austin, New York, Dallas. I think you can be surrounded by or be reminded of everything you don't have. Like you're in Los Angeles, you're in New York, it's like bright lights, big city. Like you are constantly surrounded by things you don't have. You know what I mean? It's like you see Lambo trucks everywhere and Cullinans, you see this house, that house. It's like that's part of what makes these cities so great because it's like truly you can live an American dream. You can really go after these goals and these opportunities. But on the other side of that, it can be tough to see them in your face every day.
Yeah.
Reminding you as you're trying to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you could tell me right now, I could meet the girl of my dreams and like move to the mountains of Colorado and like just write and fly here and do a podcast, once every couple months. I think that would make me happy.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
No, I don't think I don't think you would compromise being an actor.
Well, that's true. But I would be writing films and hopefully making them. But do I think I need to be here? No. My end game is to literally live in Colorado. And I mean, this is best case scenario to be a big enough actor to where, I fly and do a movie or two a year.
I think for your career,
I have to be here.
To take flight in the way you wanted to, you got to be here.
Yeah, I agree.
And once you're midair, you can direct the plane any way you want to go.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, this is like best case scenario.
Yeah.
Movies pop off. They're great. Like Matthew McConaughey, guy lives in Texas now.
I mean, bro, I want to live in 3 places. I want to be bi-coastal, and then I want a little villa in Tuscany. Is that with a horse some horses, a little winery, a little chicken coop. Yeah.
Wholesome hound.
I love horses, man. Yeah. I would love to have a couple of like beautiful horses and just ride into the market on them. Like, I'm dead ass, bro. Like y'all think I'm tripping.
You
man.
Need a Clydesdale for your size. You need a big horse.
I'd get one of them like thoroughbred American Pharaoh types.
You could fit me. I got a funny photo when my sister Jordan and I were getting ready for like this Western TV show that we were doing. And I took riding lessons at the paddock in Glendale, but they start you off on mini ponies and they make you wear a helmet. I'm sitting on this tiny little horse with this helmet on.
Recently?
This is like 5 years ago. I looked so goofy on this little horse.
Do you know how to ride horses?
Oh, yeah.
I grew up riding them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up riding horses.
I mean, here's the thing. The last time I rode was last year, 2 years ago in Wyoming, and then I'll be riding when I go to Montana.
I'm like 15 years deep in terms of the last time I've ridden a horse, so it'll be like riding a horse again.
You'll ride one when we go to Montana together.
I know. I gotta
it's so fun.
Watch YouTube tutorials.
I'm pretty good. I mean, here's the thing. I think the fastest I'm doing is a canter.
Yeah.
Anything more than a canter, I'm good on. I'm not trying to dead sprint with it.
No, I'm just trying a little gallop, just a little
cantering,
a little western
cantering.
Right, a little western gallop.
Django. On the other end of guys going through stuff in isolation and not wanting to, show their cards or show what they're going through. On the other end of it, I think right now there's a big shift on like what masculinity is, right? And like what guys are supposed to do. And there's like guys are doing therapy, guys are doing these things.
I think, like, man, listen, you know, in talking through our mental health, what it is to be masculine now.
You look back, not talking about it. Our fathers and our grandfathers didn't talk about mental health, didn't go into those things.
No.
And now we do. And it's like a good thing. I feel good talking about, you know, things I go through.
Being vulnerable.
Exactly.
Right.
But how does that shift like the masculinity part of it and like what it means to be a guy? And, you know,
I think there's been a major change or shift the last several years. Some things good, you know, some things I think have gone so far one way that, you know, it's in some way stripped some of
what it is to be a man.
What it is to be a man. And I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not talking about like, you know, 1950s, like, you know, guy at home.
Honey, I'm home.
Yeah, exactly. I think today's role models aren't as identifiable as they were, you know, in our parents' generation.
Yeah, like who are kids looking up to?
Exactly.
You don't have your Muhammad Ali.
Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he seems like a good guy, but like, is he like that quintessential pillar of masculinity of what it is to be a male? I don't know. I know a lot of guys, right, love Andrew Tate. A lot of guys love Joe Rogan. A lot of guys love Elon Musk. Like none of them speak to me, you know? And I think I've been even searching or looking to, like, obviously, like we have our fathers have always kind of been our idols or our role models since we were young. But outside of that, you know, I think generally on like a bigger scale, you know, I think about like, who are my father's role models? For sure, MLK, you know, Malcolm X, James Baldwin, Muhammad Ali, you know, like those are like, I look at those guys, I'm like, those are real men.
Yeah.
You know, JFK, right?
Yeah, totally different than what we have now, though.
Completely different.
Like who would be like my idol, role model, Paul Newman. Guy was phenomenal actor, great husband, philanthropic, like everything that he had Newman's Own, which donated $700 million before he died. You know, he had the Hole in the Wall camp in Connecticut for orphans, like
right.
Pillar of the kind of person I want to be. I'm trying to think of someone who's alive now. I'm like,
well, yeah. And I wonder if the shift in masculinity has made it harder for us to connect to somebody, you know? But because I think so much has changed in the last several years, and has pushed so many people one way or the other.
Yeah, it's like the polars now.
It's the polars.
It's like this side and that side.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right side, left side. I don't mean just politically. I just mean like you're on one end of the spectrum or the other end, right?
Yeah.
And
there's no middle ground.
That's prompted your Andrew Tates.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who like look up to them, you know, look up to Trump. Like I couldn't imagine being like a 25-year-old and like Trump is my role model. Like that'd just be like that's a wild thought to me.
Or an Andrew Tate, to be honest.
No, for sure.
Like,
absolutely. No, absolutely.
Nothing against him, but like.
It's just a wild thought to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just in comparison to like who our parents had access to and who they grew up on, you know?
That's also a technology thing. 50 years ago, no one would know who Andrew Tate is.
Yeah.
But he has these videos that go online. He's talking about like, the guy's got to buy that. I got 4 cars. I got 3 Ferraris. Why? Because I want them. Why? Because I did a custom job on the inside and I couldn't pick between the 2 colors. Cigar. I'm like, what? But it's also a technology thing. You have little kids that are 8 years old, 14 years old with an iPad watching that.
Also, I think with social media and being able to monetize, like these guys are playing characters now. Like they can make money. They literally say things, they do things because they know the reaction. They know they can profit off of it. Look at Tucker Carlson. Like look who he was at Fox and look who he is now. Like they're different people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like obviously he's still has his stick and he, you know, has his core demographic and following, but like they are different versions. Yeah. And so it's because he had to follow rhetoric. It's an interesting time to be alive because we have too much access.
Way too much.
Like we're the last generation of kids to grow up without cell phones.
Yeah.
Without like social media, without the internet.
The internet changed everything.
Bro, I remember it took half an hour to get a boob on Playboy.com back in like the mid 90s. Like we sit there and watch like the little pixels like is that a tit? Like maybe, like, you know what I mean? Like we'd be sitting there like,
MapQuest then? Did you print out the directions? Did you print out the directions? Most of you will never even know what that means. Did you print out do you remember that?
Bro,
Printing out the MapQuest?
my mom used to print out the MapQuest.
But like that was the thing. We're leaving the house. Did you print out the directions? What?
Well, you used to need like 5 gadgets, like one in your car to kind of get you where you wanted to go. We had a beeper on the hip, like
A beeper on the hip.
we had a sidekick,
Landline phone. At the
landline
house.
phones, and I think there is an incredible convenience factor to what we have now, but I do miss the simplicity sometimes. I miss like privacy is a luxury, right? Like I miss having privacy now. You break up with someone, it's all over TikTok. It's all over Instagram. You say something wrong 5-6 years ago,
Lives
it's
forever.
excavated
Yeah.
and dug up, and they're sentenced you, judge, jury, executioner style.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. I know some of it is for the greater good, and sometimes you have to go all the way one way and bring it back a little bit, right? And I think that's hopefully what's happening. But man, like I kind of miss sometimes.
I
Like,
love turning my phone off and disconnecting.
exactly. The disconnect, is a great thing. And I think
I know for me, it makes like when I'm super anxious, phone away.
that's what I'm saying. Some people can't tell me it's not connected to mental health. It is.
100%.
right?
We are overstimulated.
No question.
We have all of these things that fry our brains. We have more information and more things being thrown at us than the history of the world. Like, and that is not a great thing. Our brains are on. Think about like never doing an oil change in your car. We're overheating. We're over processing.
That's a great analogy. It's like we're always seeing what it's doing for us, but not what it's doing to us.
100%. It's overstimuli. It's like we're frying it.
And I just wonder, with the advances in technology, it just seems like it's only amplifying. It makes me want to actually like disconnect more and more and more. And we have a fucking pod, so I can't disconnect. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's anything wrong with listening to a podcast or stuff like that.
I know, but our podcast producer is always on me. She's like, you got to post more.
Shout out Courtney.
Shout out Courtney. But no, and I do.
Not like it's ever been done, but
It's not like he's listened to her at all.
I'm always like, it's coming, it's coming. I will.
Turn that into a real.
I'm going to be posting soon an official, what do you call them, posts?
Soft launch.
Hard fucking launch.
No, I think with the social media and all of these, they definitely play into the mental health thing. And it's the scary part of it is we're in new territory. We've never been like this in our entire lives. I think there's a reason we have so many mental health problems nowadays is because we're overstimulated. We have access to everything, and we want it now. It's all of these now stimuli. The happiest I am, like that's why I'm so stoked to go to Montana. My phone will not work for 4 days, and I'm gonna fish. I'm gonna smoke cigars. I'm gonna ride horses, and I won't have to worry about anything else.
Think about what Dr. Huberman says. Like, duh. Like, all the information he's given people to, like, increase your
Productivity and happiness.
Your happiness and get sunlight. Yeah. Like, go walk. Yeah. Eat a good diet. Yeah. Exercise. Yeah. You know what I mean? These things get lost because we're just, like, behind devices all the time.
Yeah.
When my coffee shop opens, I'm going to have a sign that says no fucking computers. Like, I don't want people hiding behind devices. Like, this is a communal experience. You want to go work? It ain't here. Go to Verve, go to Blue Bottle, ain't going to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You want to bring a book?
Want to bring a
you
book?
want to journal? You want to talk and communicate and have
Journal,
community?
communicate, listen to the best playlist known to man. Like, you know where to find me. But
It's
yeah.
true, though.
Yeah, it's true. It's real.
You're disconnected when you're on them,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think for your coffee shop, having a no computer rule is awesome.
You ever walk into a coffee shop nowadays, you could literally
Everyone's
hear,
heads down.
you can hear a pin drop, bro. It's mostly quiet. No one's connecting really. You know, most of them have elevator music. The occasional might have a couple of vibes playing, but ultimately it's like not communal at all. And like that should be the most communal part of your day outside of like dinner.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever I'm going through my stuff, what you asked me, like, what got me out of that?
Yeah.
Was going over to a friend's house, and we had dinner together, and we talked, and we hung outside. We had an hour-long conversation.
Or our morning meetings. our morning meetups, like
Blue
every
Bottle
morning
Boys.
we'd go meet up and grab coffee, a group of us, our
Shout
friends.
out Blue Bottle Boys. Love you guys.
Blue Bottle Boys. That's really how this podcast even got birthed.
This was birthed through that.
From us just going to coffee shops and talking with the homies, you know. And I think that is like in itself
It's fellowship.
fellowship and healing and all these things that get missed now because nobody has time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's really important.
You had a lot less of your staying at home days when we were doing that more often,
True.
which is a reason we should probably start more, not just for
Twice a
your sake,
week.
but for everybody's sake.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's having people to talk to, and I think the stigma that I need to get rid of is that you guys won't accept me if I'm going through something. It's the actual opposite. Every time I am, you guys are always there for me,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel bad that you guys are there for me. But that in reality, that's why you need friends. You need your friends to be there for you to get you out of those things and to lift you back up and to get you back on your, you know what I mean? I know this personally. You are that for other people in your life. And we have friends in our lives that are that. So I need to just get rid of like, they're going to judge me for being sad right now. You guys have never made me feel that way. It's my own insecurity in my head.
Yeah. I don't think it's that, right? I think it's more of you being insecure
It's 100%.
about sharing. That's how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because we'll be there. Like, your friends are a rock you can lean on, right? It's more of this internal dialogue that you have with yourself. And I go through it too, right? Like, it's part of that masculine thing of, damn, like, I don't really want to talk about my feelings to the homies, you know?
And I don't want them to like judge me. Even though you guys have never given me one ounce of that. That's my own insecurities. That's what I think will happen. But in reality, the main thing that I need is you guys.
Yeah.
Is to go sit and talk about coffee or music or film or starting a podcast. Like that's what I need. And when you have the phone, you don't do that. You call rather than going to the coffee.
I'm so experience based. When I say experience based, I mean, for me, experiences are everything. And it's hard to have a really connected experience when you're always behind your phone. Even at concerts, I'll snap a pic or two. My dedication to my phone at a concert or a basketball game is all of like 5 minutes max.
Yeah.
But can you imagine like what a time it'd be? Like your parents going to concerts back in the 90s and 80s, there was nothing but the music.
Yeah, you just had fun.
Or the show, or the play, or the game, you know?
Yeah. People knew you did stuff because you would share your story.
Exactly.
Like a real life story.
Exactly. And I'm all for documenting a good time, but we got to reel that back in some. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Like even the other night, I went to the movies with two of our really good friends, and we got done. I was like, "Dang, I wanted to take a photo of the opening credits," and I was like, "That was actually a good thing." I was so engaged, I forgot about my phone. I look at my phone for 2.5 hours, and after I was like, "Damn, I want to take a photo of the beginning," but I was just so in it, I forgot, and that actually made me happy.
How many places do we go? I'll just never post it. I don't need you to know.
Yeah,
I don't need it to validate that I'm cool, that I got into fucking wherever.
The scary thing is, and one of our mutual friends called me one time. He goes, "Yo, like, how's life?" And at this point, this is when we were going through all of our stuff. I was in like a rough place, and he goes, "Dude, looks like your life's great." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "It's not. I'm in a rough place." He goes, "Oh, well, like from your Instagram, it looks like life's great." And I was like, "That doesn't mean anything."
Yeah, a lot of it's,
like
it's all perception.
Like
you know?
the only way to know how someone's doing is to call them and to talk to them.
Yeah.
Because the whole online thing, you have no idea. Yeah, it's like for you guys listening and watching, like pull your phone out, call someone that you love or someone that you haven't talked to in a while and catch up with them. Because we just assume from everything going on that, oh, their life's great. Pick up the phone and call them and you'll actually see how they're doing. You know, I did that the other day. I'll randomly do, and there's a few, who told me about it? It was like a rule. I think it might have been Tony Robbins, who was like, once a day, text someone you haven't talked to in a long time and tell them how much you care about them and how grateful you are for them.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is when I send those texts, it usually leads to a phone call and it leads to catching up and I can actually hear from them and hear how they're doing. And it's not always great. Sometimes, yeah, like things are awesome. But then sometimes it's like, it's funny, it was like super needed. That person needed to hear from you. They needed to know that you're there. They needed to know that you still think about them and they're on your mind and you're grateful for them. But we don't do that. We just assume. The assumption of things is, you know, and it makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
That's what assuming is.
I've been a product of it for sure. You know, assuming.
Well, I mean, you've done it. You sent a text to someone you hadn't talked to in a long time, and it was received really well.
Yeah. We had like a falling out, and for one reason or another, and he was one of my closest homies out here. It was actually like the first person I met when I got to LA. Honestly, I got connected through a friend of a friend. I was trying to get in the music industry, got connected to him, and we became best friends. Like we're almost inseparable. Like I was his plus one to his cousin's gay wedding, and I was like his date basically.
Fabulous.
Like down in Mexico. You know what I mean? And like his cousins are like my primos. They're like my family now. Paulo and Cesar. And anyways, yeah, we had kind of fallen out, and I think it'd been bugging me for quite a while. And I remember reaching out and sending him something really heartfelt, and it went a long way.
It was well received.
Oh, very well received. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you just gotta get out of your own way, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you get your pride involved, your ego involved, and it's just you're like standing in front of yourself.
Yeah.
Can't like actually make any progress as a human, really.
I've never regretted calling somebody that I haven't talked to in a long time. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll do it randomly. Like 2 days ago, I called one of my best friends, Spencer. I haven't talked to him in a while. And we called, and we were laughing, we were catching up, and it felt so good. And I think people, if you're listening to this, like do that. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while, or that you haven't really had a good conversation with, and just talk to them.
Yeah.
If you can do it in person, obviously that's like the best. But yeah, it's showing how grateful you are for people and like communicating with them and not assuming that their lives are going great with social medias. I think it's really important.
For sure.
And it's also, I mean, you've done it too, but like when you talk to an old friend and like not one day, like for instance, the other day I called him, I was like, I haven't talked to Spence in 6 months, but he's one of my oldest friends. And 2 minutes in, we are laughing, crying, laughing. And then at the end, we're just like, God, I can't wait to see you. When can we hang out next? It's.
I mean, it's like a true friend, or like, where you could go a year, months and months without talking, and you guys just pick up like it was yesterday, and you have all these stories of when you were kids or whatever. Like that's the best.
Yeah,
that's the best. I had a conversation with a friend of mine this morning talking about some of the shit we did in high school, and like and how me and him used to get kicked out of art class like weekly. We get kicked out because we just acting a fool in there, like doing. I don't even know, man. You just in high school, you just a fucking.
Oh, I did. Shout out Dan Martin. We were wild back in the day.
You have a good high school story?
Oh, with Dan?
No, just in general of you, just like acting a fool.
Okay, so one of my good buddies, Brett, who I'm going to his wedding here. In high school, senior year, we carried briefcases. Like we didn't want to have backpacks, so we carried briefcases. And we did a senior prank where we did like a freeze hour where we had like, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 students. After first period, this is back in the day with Facebook groups. We made a Facebook group.
MySpace?
We made a whole page about the senior prank.
MySpace.
And after the period, everyone froze. And the rule was if like administration touched you, you just had to fall down. And my buddy Brett is like,
he's a big dude.
6'9", 6'10", huge guy. And I'll never remember our basketball coach is yelling at him and touches him on the shoulder. And Brett fell like a tree and is just laying on the ground because you weren't allowed to, if they touched you, you just had to fall. But I remember me and him were standing like Captain Morgan on our feet, like our legs were on our briefcases.
You were probably a fool.
Oh, I was ridiculous, bro.
I was a little bit of a square in high school. I didn't have fun. I was just like, basketball was my life.
Oh, I had fun.
I just was like, my junior year, I was there for like half the year. I was in Italy with the USA team. I was in San Diego with the USA. I was just gone, bro. I don't even know how I passed. I was never there. I was never at my high school. Like my junior, senior year, I was just never there.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't have like crazy ass stories. Like I'm sure Austin has probably more, and my sister have more stories than I do. But I was the first kid to like, in the family. So
it would be really fun. And you guys let us know in the comments if you guys want this. I think we should have your best friend on from childhood. And then we'll do another episode where we have my best friend from childhood on. And we just have him. I can interview him, but I want to hear, like, for instance, I met his best friend the other day.
Yeah,
incredible guy. Philip, if you're listening, you're a fucking G.
That's the boy.
I love to have him on and hear some of the stories about you guys growing up.
Hey, Phil has an infectious laugh, too.
Love that guy.
Phil has one of those laughs. Like, when you hear someone laugh and you start laughing because of their laugh?
Contagious.
Like, he has that laugh.
We had such a great time with him.
Yeah.
We did, only thing better than good food is good company. we had such a fun food day. What did we do that day? We had so much good food.
Oh, that was a great day.
Great day for food. What did we do? We were at the Row.
I think for anybody,
Detroit.
whether you're in LA, Miami, New York, really any city, like if you can carve out one day a week, one day a month, where you just do a food tour with your friends or your family, like it's such an incredible experience, and you're like so connected to things you love. We started out
We were in Silver Lake.
at Los Feliz.
The Window.
No,
We did a burger.
no, me and Phil started out
You guys started
at All Time.
All Time, yeah.
because they have the best blueberry and blackberry scone in the city. I love a good scone. I think, in my opinion, so far that I've had and tried, All Time has the best scone, and they're usually sold out before
11.
11. After 11 is gone.
Yeah.
We went there, and then we got a burrito at
Los Feliz Cafe.
Los Feliz Cafe, and then we met up with
And we
you
went to the Window.
at the Window,
And then we went to Detroit Taqueria.
and then we drove from Silver Lake downtown to go to Detroit Taqueria.
And then we went to the Row Pizza place.
And then we went to the Row to go to Bianco Pizza. Like, we had a day.
It was
man.
so great. Yeah, if you're listening,
yeah.
Call a friend, do a mini food tour,
Mini food
share an
tours.
item from a bunch of different restaurants.
For real.
It's just the best.
Sometimes I just want to call like Matty Matheson. Like I have his number. I don't have his number. But if I had his number, like he's the type of guy I would like love to take out on a food tour because he's probably just a blast.
He would
Like,
just go to the best places.
Eric Warheim, aka Jaime from one of my favorite shows of all time, Master of None. I don't know this dude either. But sometimes you just see a person, you're like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of that, I'm going to go get some lunch.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys all for tuning in. Call your friends. Let them know how much you care about them and be there for them. Don't text, call. Thank you guys for listening, and see you next time.
Yes, sir.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of In Good Company.
If you're enjoying this show, it would mean the world to us if you left a 5-star review. You know we love 5-star reviews. And subscribe to the pod.
This is a reminder, if you want to watch our episodes, you can do so only by subscribing to our Patreon, where you also get access to the menu and some fun announcements we have coming up.
And don't forget,
The only thing better than good food
is good company.